Welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Today I want to talk about a Marvel DC crossover classic. This is the last one in the book that we've done. Actually, that's not true. There's one more we could do from this volume.
I like that you say there's one more when it's just like, but I really don't want to.
I kind of don't, but maybe we'll do it anyway. It is, of course, the Uncanny X-Men and the New Teen Titans crossover.
All right. That's a logical crossover, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're all teenagers, right?
They are teenagers back then.
Young-ish people?
Yes, it's two teen teams. They are both the top teams of their respective publishing houses back then.
The top teen teams?
That's right. Top teams in general.
Wow.
The Teen Titans are hugely popular, as are the X-Men.
Are they top tier, would you say?
I would say so, yes. This is written by Chris Claremont with art by Walt Simonson, so you know it's probably one of the best Marvel DC crossovers ever made. It's arguably one of the best Teen Titans stories I've ever read.
I was going to make fun of this, but no, this is working for me.
No, it's completely dope.
Cool.
Yeah, and of course, like I said, in previous episodes in which they were working together and making these things happen, there is no formula. There is no roadmap. They're just like, do
they just
this.
make a story.
Yeah, just write it. At the same time this is happening, they are also working on the JLA Avengers crossover drawn by George Perez. That will go nowhere. George Perez will have drawn 10 pages. And Marvel and DC couldn't get their heads out of their asses, and then it goes to nothing. That being said...
But this worked.
This happened. 1982, you get this incredible crossover. I think it was 2 parts. So you got 2 issues. They managed to get 2 freaking issues out of this story before they completely shit the bed and not get the ability to work together again.
Right.
They did wind up, of course, doing a JLA Avengers story, which was drawn by George Perez 30 years later.
What?
Did he use those 10 pages?
No. No, he did not.
Aw, come on, George. You had to start.
It was set in the 80s. Everyone looked different. He did reuse favorite art that you had seen published throughout the years.
Okay.
Like there was an homage to a JSA crossover where instead of it being the JSA, it's the Avengers, and it's like he did a couple of things because of course JLA Avengers was a crossover that spanned time and space, so he was able to like put Easter eggs that were references to the crossover that they had worked on 30 years prior.
Okay.
So you're like, oh, look at that. Now Rob Liefeld bought all those pages.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And like kept them?
Yep. He sometimes brings them to cons. Just look at
Show
this.
them off.
Yeah.
Here are the originals.
Here's
Here they
something
are.
cool.
Yeah, here's something cool. I'm Rob Liefeld. You guys look at my sketches of Deadpool, but whatever.
Are those for sale?
Oh no, they're mine.
I just want you to know that I have them.
Yep.
And now that I've baited you in, what would you like to buy that aren't these?
Perhaps a signature for $50. Pass.
It's like a museum.
Yeah.
I'm in a little comics museum here.
It's
This is my collection.
so obnoxious. It belongs in a museum. I would like to see those pages.
Yeah. Well, you come to Comic-Con.
No, I've been to his booth. He doesn't have them there all the time.
I've already tried!
Yeah, I just want him to make beautiful scans of all of them and then put them in the Avengers. Well, unfortunately, the JLA Avengers did a beautiful hardcover, and you know Marvel and DC can't work together anymore. So if you buy, I think it's $800. So if you have that hardcover, you might see some images from it. Well, because it's out of print.
Yeah.
And it never will be again.
And people really want it.
Oh my god.
Well, it's more like
They probably didn't make that many.
yeah, no. Anyway, so this story opens
What is that title?
Apocalypse Now, but spelled apocalypse like the planet.
Right.
Darkseid and Metron are chatting it up at the Source.
Source Wall?
The Source Wall.
Okay.
Okay. That explains the creepy face.
Yeah, the Source Wall is made up of like
Face it.
explorers and people who had gone to the Source to try and tap it / enter past it to see what was beyond. And then a wall was constructed out of them. This is the first appearance of the Source Wall.
What?
Chris Claremont and Walt Simonson invented the Source Wall in Uncanny X-Men and New Teen Titans crossover. Originally it was just the Source. It was just a place where there was a barrier made of energy,
Okay.
And they were like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was just a big impenetrable wall?
Yeah, but like, think about this. Energy is weird.
It's hard to draw. Put a wall there. So they do.
Hey, out of what? I don't know.
Yeah.
People?
So Metron is chatting about entering the source wall. Darkseid hooks him up with some technology, and he basically jumps in there. And when Metron disappears, his Mobius chair spits back out.
Oh.
So Metron's
really?
gone.
Yikes.
And Darkseid's like, nice. Eat it, Metron.
Did he
my
plan
clever
for that?
scheme.
I think he knew it was going to happen. Meanwhile, at the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters in Westchester, New York, the X-Men are training in the Danger Room. This takes place on an Earth where both these teams exist. And not only these teams, but where Marvel and DC are one universe and exist in their own space.
What?
Where they've always existed.
Oh.
And they've always been... And
They've always been around.
they just never met before.
So there's a
it's
metropolis. It's
outside
just
both
like no
universes.
one from Marvel ever goes there.
Yeah. No, Spider-Man went there.
We did another crossover like that, right? Where there was,
Yeah.
I think it was a Spider-Man.
Oh, they've done that before.
And like Batman just shows up or
Yep,
whatever.
Batman, Spider-Man, Batman.
And he knows who, they know each other.
They know
like,
each
they've
other.
heard of each other.
Batman is aware of maximum carnage. Yeah.
Wait a minute. So it's a universe where all the stories from both publishers happened. However, it's not those universes because they don't exist in each other's universes.
That's right. It's parallel.
It's a parallel universe.
Where most of the same things happen to all those characters, but conveniently enough, the Marvel and DC characters did not appear in those stories. Or maybe they did, but they didn't play key enough roles
Right.
for it to be a thing to bring up.
Okay.
Like maximum carnage happens and Batman nor the Justice League went to help. Because they were just all so
They were
busy.
just busy.
Oh no.
Like everybody else.
I have
or
things to do.
It'd be really cool if they were to do more Marvel DC crossovers and they were like, no, let's just tell stories in that universe and we're going to just show you key events that happened. But instead of that moment where Spider-Man is defeated in Central Park during Maximum Carnage and he reads up and Captain America's standing there, but it's Batman instead. And you're like, oh, Batman built the Hope Machine.
That's a cool idea.
That's a fun concept.
Yeah.
And like, how'd that happen? But no. So anyway, the X-Men train, and it's awesome looking because Walt Simonson drew it at the peak of his talent, and
Yeah,
you're
it
just
looks
like,
great.
it looks cool, you know.
It's a lot of words.
It's Chris Claremont. He's just explaining how awesome it is because you don't know that Walt Simonson's drawing it because he's writing it first, and little will he know that he doesn't need half these words because Walt Simonson can just tell the story without him at all.
Right.
It feels like the editor should have been like, hey, we're gonna cut some of your shit.
No, that's Chris Claremont at height of popularity. No,
do
we're
not.
not cutting a damn word. The plot is, in the X-Men, Kitty Pryde makes dinner for the X-Men and she's worried it's not going to go well, but they all have a great time. Then they all go to sleep.
Really?
Yeah. We don't see that happen. It's alluded to in these word balloons.
Well, thank God she made dinner.
Yeah, but everyone falls asleep and they are tormented by dreams of Jean Grey, who had recently passed in a story called the Dark Phoenix Saga.
Yes.
Dark
All
Phoenix
right.
Saga happened exactly as you remember it.
Okay.
Right.
But DC also existed in the same universe.
Right.
And we're just not going to refer to them.
Okay.
So all the X-Men are haunted by these visions of Jean. Kitty Pryde is awoken by the feeling of someone looming over her. And when she opens her eyes, she sees the face of Darkseid. And she screams bloody murder. The X-Men spring into action. He's gone.
It's because he missed dinner. Are there any leftovers?
I don't think Darkseid was invited. So they're all awoken, and then Scott muses about how he had a dream of Jean and he's really sad. And then Jean appears in her Phoenix outfit and begs Scott for help and then pours herself into him.
Ah. And leaves behind like tendrils of smoke.
Yeah.
Sure.
Meanwhile, at Titan's Tower in New York City, Raven is sleeping when she is haunted by a vision of a phoenix attacking her Raven avatar.
Wow. So the Phoenix is like integral to this story.
Yeah.
All right.
Who is dead.
And this is
Right.
cool because, like, it's bird on bird.
Yeah, you gotta get that bird theming. So she wakes up and Starfire wakes up from her screaming, and the two of them like gal pal in the kitchen. Beast Boy shows up and he's like, "What's going on?" And Raven describes the horrible bird she saw, and then Beast Boy becomes the Phoenix. Like, was it like this?
Yeah.
So Starfire grabs by the throat. She's like, "It's the Phoenix!"
What?
My planet of Tamaran was destroyed by the Phoenix when it went crazy, and the Shi'ar Empire helped destroy it.
No, my name's Beast Boy.
Yeah, no, but she was so taken by the vision of the Phoenix,
Right.
that she instinctively reacted.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I was
imagine-
kind of new here.
Imagine if someone had morphed into like the one-armed man while in
well,
the
Richard-
interrogation room.
Yeah. Yeah.
I imagine he would have freaked out too.
It's true. It's him. So.
So in this, the Phoenix also destroyed Tamarania?
Yeah. Or Tamaran.
Tamaran.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Neat.
one neat
Yeah.
deal. It's great because
Everything's the same, only different.
Yeah, and Claremont's like, I don't want to explain universes, and
Yeah.
it actually would have been easier to do that. Just be like, there's a hole in space, or the Phoenix can pass through the source wall, which we literally just invented for the story. But like, the
Yeah.
Phoenix can pass through, and it destroyed Tamaran maybe in this crossover. Who cares?
Yeah.
But no, everything happened. Also, the Phoenix wrecked everything, and she's aware of like Lilandra and stuff, and talks about her. And
Right.
you're
Well,
like,
of course,
okay.
she's from space. They're from space. Everyone's from space. Everyone in space knows each other.
It's
Right.
weird
They're all neighbors.
It's
that
small out in space.
it's strange that the
Very
story
spread.
starts with someone going into the source wall, and it's not a thing where the universes are like merging.
No.
Like, why did you do the source wall thing then?
Or that they're on the opposite side. Like, you know what's on the
Right.
opposite side of the source wall? The Marvel universe.
Right.
And
I thought that's where we were going. And they're like, no, they've just
No.
always been together. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
well, then what's on the other side?
Then what are we doing with the source wall?
Well, it's limitless energy that Darkseid wants to use to take over everything.
Oh,
So
okay.
Donna Troy shows up. They call the Titans call to all the members of Titans that aren't there. which
Well,
includes-
because someone had a vision?
yeah, Raven had a vision of a world-destroying bird that killed Starfire's people. So she's
Okay.
like, I'm calling everybody in,
All right.
and we're gonna and that way Raven doesn't.
You had a bad dream. You called the whole team
Yeah,
together.
well, Raven doesn't have to tell the story twice now. So Donna
Oh, thank
Troy,
God.
Cyborg, Kid Flash, everyone but Robin answers the call. Robin is dealing with a break-in at Star Labs when he's confronted by the great villain of the Teen Titans, which is, of course, Deathstroke the Terminator. Who is
Okay.
also referred to as Slade because Deathstroke and Terminator are both really aggressive words, so we're not going to use them in our fun, kid-friendly Teen Titans show, nor we're going to use him in our Teen Titans Go spin-off mini children's show version of that show, or the Teen Titans Go spin-off movie, but I'm going to call him Deathstroke the Terminator, because that's what his cool name is, and I like using it.
I mean, just Deathstroke is fine.
Yeah.
But Deathstroke attacks, well, Robin calls him the Terminator.
Oh, that's confusing because the Terminator is a whole separate thing.
2 years later.
But not in 82.
Oh, right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. So poor Slade Wilson, he's the Terminator before the Terminator,
Yep.
and he's Deadpool before Deadpool. And he
now
gets
he's
sidelined
nothing.
both times. Now he's not even Deathstroke or the Terminator, he's Slade. So Terminator kicks Robin in the face and then leaves.
Okay.
But he also reveals that Terminator's working for somebody. Like, oh, who is it? It's Darkseid. So the X-Men take the Blackbird to Jean Grey's house, her parents' house.
Okay.
And they're like, hey, did you have dreams about Jean? And they're like, yeah. Thanks for reminding us our daughter's dead and that you kind of killed her. And they're like, sorry. Yeah, they just kind of like want to know what's going on. And the X-Men don't give any answers. And then Professor X is like, hey, more things are happening. Come back. So then they leave.
Thanks for that trauma.
Yeah. We don't see the Greys anymore. So the Titans like go.
What a bunch of downers.
I know.
Yeesh.
Yeesh, my daughter's dead. So the Titans converge on Robin, who is a punk and unconscious,
Yep.
and Starfire tells them the story about how Tamaran was destroyed by the Phoenix.
Okay.
And you're like, right on. So meanwhile, elsewhere, in this seemingly subterranean lair, there are parademons working on this instrument of destruction, and Deathstroke the Terminator is just kind of like hanging out there.
Okay.
sipping
Clearly he's working
champagne.
with them. Yeah, he's,
Right. This is where you see that he's working for Darkseid. Okay.
a couple of parademons like walk in, and Deathstroke like attacks them with precision and skill because
Okay.
he's a force to be reckoned with.
yeah.
And Claremont wants you to know that because he is, and he's a badass, and we're going to see him be such a badass throughout the whole book.
Why is he fighting the parademons? Aren't they on his side?
More or less just to show what a badass he is and to kind of like ingratiate himself with Darkseid. Darkseid
And also,
is
one of them
impressed.
spilled his champagne, Ethan.
Yes, exactly.
I see.
Yeah, one of them's like, what? We're all hanging out here. We're all working, and you're just like loafing around. This is bullshit.
All right.
And Darkseid's like, right on.
I mean, they're parademons. I don't care.
Yeah, they're just mindless orcs to be.
They're even
beaten
less
up
than
on
you,
in this
Slade.
book. Yeah.
Professor X is asleep at his monitoring duty, and Starfire attacks. Starfire's kind of like, screw the Phoenix. You people.
She was here.
Yeah, she
had
was
a
here.
dream.
Rah. So she blasts into the professor's room
Jeez.
and attacks him, and he's like, whoa! Mind whammy, knocks her out, and he's like, that was weird. And then he's about to call the X-Men when Cyborg uses his sonic gun to like knock Professor X out. And then Raven uses her Raven avatar to absorb the professor and then like basically knock him out.
Man, I know what the X-Men are going to love. Someone kidnapping Professor X.
No, I know. They don't. They just kind of leave him there.
Why doesn't Professor X? This is not a question about this book necessarily, but just like, why doesn't he sense that Cyborg's about to hit him with a thing and like mind whammy him?
I don't know.
Like,
Well,
can't he
look,
sense all
he's
these people
telepathic.
coming?
But that doesn't mean like he knows what's going on in his sleep.
Right. Well, in this story,
Well, no, he's awake when that happens.
when this happens, he is wondering who Starfire is, where she's coming from, and why his
He's
attention is
distracted.
focused elsewhere.
Interesting.
He also didn't know that she was alone, even though he should, because he's the like 10th level psychic.
Yeah, it feels like it should be harder to defeat
I agree.
Professor
I
X
agree.
than that.
So,
Okay.
Darkseid sent his parademons to the Xavier School to capture the X-Men because they are integral to his plans. The parademons,
What?
Yeah. So the Titans all converge on an unconscious Professor X when the parademons attack the Xavier Institute, and then basically kidnap all the Titans because like one colorful character is as good as the next, and just grabs all the Titans and leaves.
No, you fools! You grabbed the wrong law. God damn it.
Yep, that'll happen.
They just grab them? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a fight, obviously.
Oh, there's a fight, but
Yeah.
then they grab.
And then Titans lose.
Yeah, but they
You're
don't.
teens.
They didn't notice Beast Boy, so Beast Boy morphs into a parademon and then follows with them.
Doesn't he look like weird?
He's a green parademon.
And they don't care.
He's all one color. He doesn't have any clothes.
One
or
of them
his clothes
says,
look the
"Why
same
is one of
color."
my parademons obviously someone else?" And then he gets his ass kicked. But like, for the most part, this is his MO.
Yeah.
Garth doesn't have a very good tactical mind.
Right, okay.
So
What is that? That looks
well,
cool.
in New Mexico, there is
We
this
got a
instrument
cool
that has
ship
been built
or
by
thing?
the parademons. There are multiple instruments like this. By the way, Walt Simonson depicts this brilliantly.
Yeah, it
Not
looks
too
awesome.
long before this, he also drew the Alien movie adaptation comic book. And it's so good. It has shades of this where it's like
Yeah.
intricate, crazy sci-fi
Biomechanic?
mechanic stuff. And
Yeah,
it's just,
that looks functional.
yeah, he's so good. Anyway, so they built a bunch of these to try and reconstitute the Phoenix's energy from key places where Jean Grey had the most emotional connection with. Like her
Like her connection to the Phoenix was strongest at these
places. So we built these cool Apocalypse New Genesian technology tuning forks on these places.
because there's like still an energy signature of her left over.
So
or
like
it.
where she was active.
Yeah, like they go to like all kinds of places. Like she
where there were books where she did Phoenix
Exactly.
stuff that you remember reading.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And
Cool.
Chris Claremont probably wrote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deathstroke's overseeing the operations when Wolverine sneaks up behind him, and then they have a fight.
Yeah.
Cyclops springs into action. He tells Colossus to break the big machine, while Wolverine fights Deathstroke. And it's pretty cool because, no one sneaks up on Deathstroke, but Wolverine was able to. But he says, "Got a light, bub," which throws off his ability to get a sneak attack. And Deathstroke
Yeah.
says, like, "Why did you say anything? You
Right.
had me."
You could have just skewered me,
Yep.
and then I'd be dead.
Yeah, and then Deathstroke
Well, where's
tries
the
to
fun
get
in that?
him, and Wolverine dodges that. And
They both have healing factors too.
yeah, I mean, like
Do
somewhat. Deathstroke.
I thought Deathstroke was just a guy.
Deathstroke's just a guy who has really good skills. Wolverine has a healing factor that's actually like a power.
Yeah.
All superhumans in like Marvel at least have some kind of accelerated healing factor.
Right. So that when they
'cause, like-
get beat up, they can just be in the next issue and
Yes.
be fine. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But Wolverine's is actually like really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got the best.
Yeah. Spider-Man couldn't grow an arm back, but Wolverine could.
Yeah.
So there's a big fight, and Deathstroke.
Who wins between Deathstroke and Wolverine?
Deathstroke.
Oh. What's he do?
Well, he's got to win. He's the bad guy.
He
if he was
flings him
defeated,
around, eventually he just like, the parademons are also involved and they help overpower like Shadowcat
okay.
and Nightcrawler and stuff.
Oh.
The last one standing is Colossus, who Deathstroke just like pivots him and over a cliff.
what an oaf.
Oh.
Yeah.
He uses a judo move.
Yeah.
Or something.
We see a whole we see the action
Cool.
Yeah, I like his face when he's bent over, like,
Oh!
So the X-Men get their asses handed to them.
Yeah, by one guy
By
who has
one
no
guy
powers.
and a few parademons. Mm-hmm. All right.
So
What's
then-
happening? This is crazy.
So then we go to the source wall.
Oh.
And by the way, best person to draw the first iteration of the source wall is Walt Simonson. It's just crazy ass thing.
They had limited colors to work with, and they made something look really cool.
Yeah,
Like, it's-
and like unlike something that you've ever seen before.
yeah.
it's
yeah.
like a city made out of people.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's a wall made out of people.
Yeah.
And all those people are explorers and would be, demigods or people who would take over and.
But like there's structures and like there's things that connect them all. It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cool.
No, it's very
It looks
cool.
like a real, thought out thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, Scott Snyder just blew it up in a recent Justice League story. So there is no more source wall.
The whole thing?
Whole thing just exploded.
Oh.
Yep.
Can they just get beyond it now?
It was holding something back. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I don't want to
never
get
mind.
into it. It sucks.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Hey, look at that goblin.
Yep. He's what's it called? Parademon.
Parademon. Yeah.
That's not a parademon, that's a goblin, man.
So the
They're just orcs, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, they're just orcs.
Okay.
They're demons.
right.
So Darkseid is just enjoying, the view when the Parademons show up and they're like, "Here you go, here are the X-Men." He's like, "Those are the Titans, you asshole."
We actually know them.
Yeah, like
They're from our universe.
we're all from that universe.
What do you
Okay,
mean our
shut up
universe?
for 5
They're all
seconds
one
and don't argue with
universe.
me, but yes. We're all from that universe.
Okay, but if there was
we,
alternate universes, they would be in yours. So you should know that.
but you've seen these guys before.
Yeah, he says I've never fought them before, but I know what the Titans are.
Yeah.
And why is one of your numbers green? And then he just Deathstroke sneaks up behind Beast Boy and zaps him because even Deathstroke knew that it was a fake.
Right, yeah.
And then Darkseid is mad that the head Parademon screwed up so badly, so he just blasts him with the Omega beams.
Good.
Of course, Deathstroke shows up, blasts Garth, and then goes, "I actually caught the X-Men.
Yeah.
I'm better than your parademons."
Separately,
Here
unrelated.
you go.
Yeah.
So then they strap all the X-Men into this crazy machine, and also hold the Titans there for good measure.
Sure.
Thankfully, they built pods for all of them, even though they weren't expecting them to show up. They use them. So there's this big crazy machine that
Yeah.
at the source wall is able to harness energy from the X-Men and their connection with Jean Grey and the Phoenix.
They took them all the way to the source wall from
Yeah.
Earth?
How long
used
is
That
boom
just
tubes.
happened. Oh, boom tubes.
yeah.
Okay.
Boom
Right.
tubes.
Yep.
All right. Was
And-
this built into it already?
What?
The source wall?
Like this structure to...
They built
No,
that.
they built this
They built that while they were
machine.
building all those tuning machines.
Machine
on
built
cities.
for
Okay.
a purpose at the source wall
I was
intentionally
hoping
to
it was
do a
not
thing.
like, oh, this is predestined and it's already there.
No.
It's always been. It's
no.
been waiting for these specific number of
Yeah.
colorful characters
It's
to put in it.
the part of the source wall prophecy
Yeah.
that we've made up right now.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
built it for these guys, which they
Okay.
stick in and then they harness it and it hurts them.
Yeah.
And then it draws energy
Yeah.
that reconstitutes Dark Phoenix. And Dark Phoenix appears and she's, "Who summons Dark Phoenix?" And he says, "It's I, Darkseid." And you're like, "Oh, Dark!
Kind of
I
cool.
get it."
You have a similar sounding name.
Yeah. So the Teen Titans are like, "So Darkseid, what's your plan now? What do you want?"
Yeah,
It's like,
what do you-
"I'm gonna turn Earth into another apocalypse."
Okay.
And
Why?
because I want to expand my rule.
Ah.
And I got this cool chick who's gonna run one of my planets now.
You know what would be awesome? Is
Yeah.
if all those machines they set up, those giant things,
those-
poured into the earth
Right.
and became the engines that the shit spits out of?
as that should be, but they actually just build one in the center of the Earth anyway.
That's
It's just another one, but
Where is Superman?
right at one point in this earlier story, there's some devastation caused by a mutant event, like a mutant story, and the
Yeah.
Titans are like, "Huh, I guess that was done by some of those newfangled X-Men I heard so much about. Weird, we never met." Anyway, and then when they spring into action to stop Darkseid, one of them says, "We should call the Justice League or the Avengers,"
Yeah.
and then they don't.
They don't have time.
They don't
They're
have
defeated
time.
before they can.
Yeah.
Oh, we're too
No,
far away.
No, they're like, we're the only ship in range.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Darkseid and Dark Phoenix and his hordes jump into the boom tube and leave the Titans and the X-Men on this desolate rock outside the source wall.
Okay.
Oh, okay, because we used you.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
you're
done.
done, and now you can stay here. It's a freaking rock in space.
Right.
You don't have
not
boom
gonna-
tubes, you're not going to go home.
You're staying here. So the Teen Titans and the X-Men team up, and they meet, and they shake hands.
Wait, they're just able to get up and walk. They don't even leave them in restraints or
No.
anything.
They're like,
Or
bye.
kill one or two of them?
No. What? Why?
I've done much worse than kill you. I've stranded
you.
you, buried alive.
Darkseid! Raven feels this like horrible strength and raw, evil, animalistic power from Wolverine, and she's like, she thinks to herself like, I'd better stay away from him. Wolverine's thought bubble is, I scare the bird chick. I wonder why. So they realize that like with Darkseid and Dark Phoenix and the machines off and everything, they're losing their atmosphere on this rock in the middle of space. So
Ticking clock.
yeah, so they hobbled together.
that sucks.
They grab like machinery that they found from like all over the wreckage and whatnot of the chicanery from Darkseid, and they're basically trying to like put together a plan to leave. And then Cyborg sees the Mobius chair just kind of floating around, so he grabs it and brings it over to them.
Like, hey, look at this weird chair.
Yeah, well, he knows what it is because it's a DC chair.
Oh, right. So they're basically taking these like parts and they're just like, maybe if I like just cram them together,
they're doing that, and then they find the Mobius chair, and then they just use that.
Okay.
But
oh, thank
What
God.
do they
We
do
had
with
no
it?
idea what we were going to do.
The Mobius chair can go anywhere and do anything, so they just get on it and it leaves. But like, not everyone can fit on it.
Right, I was going to say, do they all just like...
It's a little more dignified than that.
Oh, thank God.
But only marginally.
Because if it was like Bill and Ted where everyone's cramming into the phone
Yeah,
booth.
it'd be fun,
Yeah.
but no.
Right, you sit on my lap here, and then
Yeah.
you climb on my shoulders, and someone sits on this arm.
We also are building some fun interactions here. Kitty
Sure.
and Beast Boy are the youngest members of the team, so naturally they're flirting with each other. Which, of course, is much to the chagrin of Colossus, who is a big-time creep because he's 18, she's 14. So we also see Kid Flash talking to Storm, and he goes, hey, so the big guy's Russian? Like, you're working with commies?
And she looks at him and is like, well, you're all in red.
She goes, I'm African. What's the problem? And he's like, nothing. Let me just jump onto the fucking...
No, but you live in America.
Hang
Right.
on, I'm going to run fast enough
I'm
and
gonna
go back in
jump onto
time
the-
where I didn't say those words.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what he... the Cosmic Treadmill. Yeah, well, hold on a minute. I'm going to jump on the Cosmic Treadmill and make it so that never happened. So...
Hamina.
So Kitty and Garth are like sitting on the Mobius chair because it's just a big chair. Why not? And everyone else, all the big boys, are trying to figure out what the hell to do. And Kitty says, "I wish I was home." And then she and Beast Boy disappear. And then like they come back and they're like, "It took us a minute to figure out how this chair worked." But
Oh, it turns
here
out
we
it's a wishing chair.
are." More or less.
Yeah.
So then they're like, "Well, we can't fit on the chair." So then Beast Boy becomes a big dragon. And they all climb on the
Get on Beast Boy.
They climb on Beast Boy, and he sits in the chair with his like giant dragon hands.
I feel like that's cheating, but okay.
The whole book is a cheat. It's funny also because Beast Boy becomes Lockheed the Dragon, who in this universe is a character that Kitty and Colossus invented together. And so Colossus is like, I don't like that the green boy, who's way more appropriately aged for Kitty, knows about our secret love dragon. So
I
then,
like Lockheed being described as a secret love dragon.
so he's
That sounds like a terrible sex move. I'm going
he's-
to give you the secret love dragon.
right, and he's complaining to himself in Russian. But then Starfire is like, "Ooh, a new language I never heard." So she makes out with him because that's how Tamaranians learn language. They make out with the person who speaks that language. And they can get the language from them.
And now we get the best line in the book, where the Nightcrawler sees this happen and goes, Fräulein, sprechen Sie Deutsch?
He does do that. And sadly, she does not make out with Kurt.
Yeah, no, I got it. No, that's a different language. Yeah,
Yeah, German. She's
Yeah,
like,
well,
you're blue.
Gross.
I really
Well,
just
you're
wanted to make out
orange.
with this guy.
yeah.
That hurts.
I just wanted.
I just made up the language thing. I don't know.
Yeah. So she's making out with Colossus.
Yeah.
And Robin's like, Professor, excuse my friend, she's new, and that's how she learned languages. And Kitty's like, looks like he's enjoying it too. I don't like that.
Yeah.
No time for that. Anyway, they leave.
Well, you're making time with the green
What's
guy.
going on with vegetable lasagna over there?
No, we're not making out with him, that's for sure.
Not learning languages. French class. They fly around. By the way,
Cool
this
drawing.
is a really great looking dragon.
Yeah.
Plus, you got all the Teen Titans and X-Men riding, and that's kind of fun.
If he can get like that huge, where he's like Godzilla sized, like he should be like one of the most powerful characters ever.
Yeah. So then Raven feels the presence of the bad guys, and so they teleport there.
Okay.
and they're like below the surface of the Earth.
I'm very familiar with chairs. Let me.
Doesn't Metron's chair do other stuff besides teleport? Doesn't it give you like knowledge or something?
It's kind of retconned later.
Oh, okay. All right.
They don't really
So
know-
what does it do besides it's just a
teleporting?
teleporting chair?
Yeah, well, it also has its own personal atmosphere, I'm sure, because Metron can float through anywhere.
Right. Oh, I thought that was he could just do that.
Well,
because
he's
he's a new
more,
god, right?
He can get
breathe
punched,
in space.
though. I mean, you know, he's just a guy.
If you insert
He
a
is-
quarter, it massages your back and your neck.
Oh, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah.
So they end up in the planet core.
Don't call it that.
It's not really. They just go like
It's just in the
underground.
earth somewhere. Yeah.
Underground.
Is that a goddamn Star Wars reference?
Yeah.
That was a Boss Nass reference.
They're skulking around when Deathstroke attacks them along with a bunch of parademons.
damn it, Deathstroke.
He's on top of everything.
He's one guy and some parademons. It
My
shouldn't even
question
be
is-
a fight. It should be over in like a second.
I
Once
know.
Darkseid has Dark Phoenix, why is Deathstroke even there anymore?
Well, because like
I don't need you anymore.
I know, but Deathstroke is clearly proving his worth.
Yeah. And Darkseid and Dark Phoenix, they got super important stuff to do over there.
Yeah.
You mean bang?
Yes. And they're not banging right now, but it's obviously apparent that they're like kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, king and queen kind of shit.
Exactly. So they fight, obviously because they're underground. Storm's claustrophobia is getting to her, and she like calls down the lightning and caves in the whole area, and like they barely escape. And the heroes are seemingly like crushed under rocks, but they're just like in another area. And Deathstroke's like, I can't get to them. I better tell Darkseid that I can't get to them, but they're definitely probably still alive.
Oh,
so-
wow.
He's useful.
Yeah.
He's not the.
He doesn't just
mustache-twirling
assume they're
villain.
dead?
There, I didn't do anything, but they must be defeated.
This is how every supervillain should act. This is why I don't really have powers, but I'm still amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Teen Titans and the X-Men basically end up in Darkseid's like main chamber area.
So the rocks like slow down
You
Slade.
can tell it's a chamber
Yes.
because Darkseid's face is on it.
Oh yeah, branding is key.
Yeah.
So Darkseid of course wants to use Dark Phoenix's energy to power the machine that will turn the Earth into Apocalypse. And
Right,
So
right.
they got to distract her or whatever. So there's a big fight, you know, where the X-Men try and stop Dark Phoenix from doing it. They're trying to appeal to her as Jean Grey. She's like, I'm not Jean.
Right.
So
Stop
this is-
saying that. You know I'm not.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
Dark
just
Phoenix.
the Dark Phoenix. Like, this is just the energy. Like,
Yeah.
Jean's gone.
Yeah, Jean's
Yeah.
dead.
Which already happened in Dark Phoenix.
Yes.
So like they know that. So
Right, but
why
she
are they
looks
still
like
like
Jean.
Jean?
She
I
looks
just
like
can't
Jean
get past how much you look like her.
Yeah,
Even
well.
though I know this is doing nothing when I reference her.
That's true.
But Jean! Okay. You call me Jean one more goddamn time.
Yeah.
Madeline. So
That's not better.
Raven and Professor X team up because they know that they are the key to stopping this whole thing.
They're the key to all this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Raven and Professor X like team up and blast Dark Phoenix with the power of love.
No, don't do that.
Nope.
No, we're done. We're done.
At least it's not.
You ruined the
hope.
It's not
Sorry.
hope, it's love. Because they both, Dark
they-
Phoenix doesn't know love, and neither does Darkseid, and so,
I see.
you know, so they're,
But
they're
Professor
X
and
does.
Raven do.
Yeah.
Raven, the daughter of a demon
Yeah,
devil
but,
man,
like,
knows love.
yeah, she does. That's what makes her better.
Right.
Oh,
But
what about Professor X?
she should not be able to one. I feel like she
She's
should.
the only one who's powerful enough to help Professor X blast her.
I see. Okay.
You have to help me blast her, Raven.
So
Yeah.
Professor X. Okay, so I'm going to try to like put some logic behind this. Professor X has mental telepathy.
Yes.
So he's projecting like loving thoughts
Yeah.
into Phoenix.
Yeah, he's more or less like projecting his love that he has for Jean.
Oh, okay.
And Raven's facilitating it, along with the Mobius chair, I'm sure.
Sure. Because it has vague, undefined powers.
exactly.
So why not?
well, it can turn his mental powers into emotional powers.
I think he
There
can
you
do
go.
that himself. But they do that.
Okay. So is he trying to get through? Is there some piece of Jean in there?
That's the question. And so they're trying to do that.
The answer
And
should be no.
It's fun because Claremont does a nice job of describing where it's like, instead of just being like, it's vague, undefined love for my friend, it's like
Right.
remembering things that I loved about Jean and thinking about ways that Jean would have impacted our lives had she not been taken from us.
Oh.
You're like, oh, that's a real thing. That makes
Yeah.
me feel something. Thank
Yeah.
you, Claremont. So then Darkseid recedes into being kind of a lame character, goes like, blast, I've been foiled, that he tries to leave, and then the Titans just kind of dogpile him, and then Starfire like holds his Omega beams back with her own powers and blasts his eyes into his head.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. The psychic hold that Professor X and Raven have on Phoenix is starting to win, but then Phoenix is like, screw this. So then the Phoenix leaves the form of Jean Grey and goes into Cyclops.
Oh. Whoa, okay.
So Cyclops becomes the Phoenix.
Oh. This is foreshadowing of
Avengers vs. X-Men.
Yeah.
He
Does
becomes
the
one of the
body
Phoenix
of
Five.
Jean Grey disappear?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Cyclops, knowing what was happening and being aware of like how the Phoenix is corrupting and whatnot, he basically says like, part of you that's inside of me knows that like you're not anything. Like Jean helped you exist, and without Jean, there's nothing for you here. And she's like, man, like it would have been better to have only been this illusion of Jean Grey, the Dark Phoenix, than to have understood what it is to be a whole thing and to have experienced and tasted love. And so she like hates Darkseid for bringing her back and making her exist. Now that she knows what like life truly feels like, and so she attacks Darkseid.
Cool. So she like
Cyclops also
as
optic
Cyclops,
blasts,
or
optic
she
as
blasts,
Cyclops.
Phoenix.
or she leaves Cyclops.
the whole
It's
thing.
like Cyclops blasts Phoenix out of his optic eyes.
Okay.
And then there's a big fiery explosion, and seemingly Darkseid is destroyed.
Oh.
This all happens, by the way, below a like beautiful symphonic concert. And when Phoenix blasts out of the ground, it's part of a fireworks show.
So they think it's all part of the
They all think it's part of the show because we need to.
We got to make sure that people don't discover this whole thing that happened.
Right, this thing that doesn't
That would change everything.
matter and never happened.
Okay,
Whatever.
in a world where the Justice League exists and sort of the Avengers and people are aware of it, you're worried about a light blasting out of the earth?
Yeah. Yeah.
The jig is already up.
No, I got to make sure that people don't
There's
know.
plausible deniability that the Teen Titans and the Uncanny X-Men weren't involved in some world-ending epic battle beneath the Earth's surface. So then the Phoenix flies through space and then back to the source, into the source wall.
Oh, okay. And does Metron come out?
Metron shows back up later.
Okay.
Like he comes out, he gets back in the Mobius chair. He's like, "Cool.
What was it like in there?
We'll never know."
Why were you in this book?
To facilitate the Mobius.
So
chair.
that my chair could be used by somebody else.
Exactly. So the Teen
So my
Titans.
chair could be used by somebody else who also uses a chair.
Who also sits in
Yeah,
a chair.
yeah.
Who's known for sitting in a chair.
He's known for sitting in a chair. What's the most notable chair in the DC universe? The Mobius chair. Put him in it.
I would have done that. That's,
Yeah, we got to get rid of
makes
Metron
sense.
though.
Yeah.
Stick him in the source wall. So the
You know, we could share the chair. I don't have to go in the source wall.
no, we're not putting Professor X in Metron's lap. So
We'll just sneak real close.
That's big enough for two.
the concert lets out, and the Teen Titans and the X-Men like schmooze.
With these random people at this random
No,
concert?
with each other.
Oh, with each other. Okay.
Everyone leaves, and then they're
and
like,
they just hang out.
yeah, and they're
"Woo!"
like, that was fun.
Okay.
And we also established now that Darkseid is one of the pieces of the source wall.
So Phoenix like just took him into it.
Yeah. Now you're in the source wall, which
That's fascinating.
is fun because we'll see this homaged in JLA Avengers in an adventure where the Justice League is dealing with an event in which Doctor Doom tried to tap the source wall and Hawkeye joined the Justice League and hooked up with Black Canary, and then Doctor Doom is entombed in the wall.
Okay.
And you're like, that's cool. What a neat adventure we get 2 panels of.
Yeah.
But we get this really epic story about how Darkseid and Dark Phoenix try to destroy the Earth and create like almost like an armada of hell planets
Yeah.
that will rule the cosmos. And of course destroy the human race.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. 2 planets do not an armada make.
How many other duplicate planets do you know of that are ruled by one despot?
All right, fair
Big old
point.
goose egg right there. So there you have it.
That's cool. I like how in a universe where there's both the Teen Titans and the X-Men, they can defeat Darkseid.
Yeah.
And he gets stuck in a wall.
I know.
Like, that's
And
kind
the
of
Justice
cool.
League can't beat him half the time.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Now that being said, Darkseid is significantly nerfed in his original origin.
But he's also beaten by the Dark Phoenix.
Yes.
Well, yes.
Phoenix beats him. The Teen Titans, the X-Men just remind Phoenix that she has no soul. And so she gets so sad that she kills Darkseid.
It's actually kind of brutal.
Yeah. But that's Claremont for you.
Yeah. Don't forget, Dark Phoenix, you're not like a real person.
You're not even
and you
real.
never will be.
Don't you want some of this love that we all had for this person that's not you?
That
You
you'll
can't feel
never
it, never have it.
Yeah. Oh, but
yeah, now get out of here.
we also find out there's also a postscript where they go like, wait a minute, but if Dark Phoenix was summoned by Darkseid later, then what the hell warned us about this happening? And so they're implying that like Jean might still be out there somewhere.
Oh.
Or that Jean's a ghost.
Right, there's an afterlife and
That her
Jean's
soul
like calling
helped them.
from beyond the grave.
Yeah. That image of Phoenix begging Scott to help her and then like fading into him is just, it's so cool. Every page has something totally rad in it.
Yeah.
Where you're like, that's dope.
I was expecting this.
That's the kind of shit I want to see.
Yeah.
82, Marvel, DC, just start co-publishing things. Make more of these in this crazy universe, which I would like to believe when they did eventually get their druthers about a decade later, a decade and a half later, and they were doing when they did DC versus Marvel and they were doing more crossovers,
Yeah.
that like some of those crossovers took place in this universe.
That'd be nice.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The universe where the Shaper of Worlds and the Joker team up and Batman and the Hulk have to fight, like make that the same Earth as this one. The universe where Clark Kent is photographing Spider-Man, like I'm in. I mean, it gets really dicey when you start asking like what the hell happened in significant events. Like,
Yeah, well, the
whatever,
less said about that,
the better.
Yeah.
We're just looking at the cool stuff.
I was busy doing other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a superhero.
We're all busy, and now we've got twice as many cities to protect.
How about in our own universes where like Batman's just dealing with a problem and he doesn't call his pal Superman?
Yeah.
Because he's busy.
That's true.
Cool book.
It's a really cool
Yeah.
story. If it's available, I'll put it in the description. There's always a trade of this somewhere.
I didn't expect this to be this fun.
Right? No.
Did you get this signed by somebody?
I did. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, the artist on Batman Hulk, signed this one. That was before I had an oversized edition of Batman vs. the Incredible Hulk, which I, of course, obtained and subsequently
had him
had him
signed.
signed.
Yeah.
So there you have it, everybody. The Uncanny X-Men, the new Teen Titans crossover classic. It is one. Check it out if I have something down there. If not, I've seen both issues available at any Comic-Con. I think they're like, if you pay $20 per issue, you're overpaying. I guarantee you can get it for less. They printed a lot of them. And no one really hails these crossovers in high regard anymore. So like you can get most Marvel DC crossovers in a quarter bin, despite the fact that like you'll probably never see them again, and they are ultra rare.
And first appearance of the Source Wall.
That's right, first appearance of the Source Wall, so that's worth it alone. DC has to acknowledge that happened. And so there you go, check it out. We'll see you guys next time here on Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
So long. Like,
Excuse me.
certainly. I know that Mike picked that up. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
oh
wait,
yeah.
But
Well, you can just mute my mic for that.
no, yeah, that's true.
It may have picked
I feel
up
like
on
my
ours
mic
too.
couldn't.